Hello everyone and welcome back to another Blender modeling tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple modern tap, so let's get straight into it. First of all, I'm going to press Shift and then A on the keyboard, and over Mesh, select Cylinder. Press G, Z and then 1 to bring it up by 1, and now I'm going to press S and then Z to scale it across the Z axis and make it a little bit taller. But there should do for now. Then I'm going to press Tab and then Edit. It should probably go into edit mode automatically if you haven't changed anything. Then I'll press Ctrl R, left click, and I'll drag it down to around here. Then I'll press free to enter face select mode, and I'll hold down Alt and left click. Now I'll press E, S, and then Shift Z, and that will extrude and scale across the X and Y axis. So about there should do. Now I'm going to select my top face by left clicking it, and I'm going to press G and Z again to make this a little bit taller, or maybe a little bit smaller. That should do. Now I'm going to press I to inset, and I'll left click there. Now I'm going to press X and then select only faces. Then when pressing 2, I'm going to press Alt left click on this edge loop here. Now I'm going to make a sphere shape since the top of my tap is going to roll off a ball. So I'll press E and then Z to bring it up. Then I'll press S and then Shift Z to scale, just a little bit at a time. So I'll do that again, E and then Z, S and Z, E and then Z. And as I get higher, I'm going to start making it a little bit more harsh, like that. G and Z to bring it down a little bit more. See how that's looking? Yeah, brilliant. Then I'll press E and Z again, then S and then Shift Z, G and Z to bring it down. Then I'll press E, Z just a tiny bit this time, S and then Shift Z again, and that should do. Now, fortunately, I have an even number of edges, so now all I'm going to need to do is left click this face button and then press grid fill, and that should fill it up nicely. Then I'll turn on my proportional editing, press 1 to enter edge select or vertex select mode, and I'll press G and Z to just bring that up slightly. Turn down my proportional a wee bit. Right there should do. Now I'm going to come back into object mode. I'm going to press right click and then I'm going to press shade smooth. Then in this object data properties down here, I'll scroll down and click auto smooth. That's looking a lot better now. Then I'll press tab and then edit mode again, and I'm going to press Alt on this edge loop here. I'll press E and then Z and I'll just bring it up somewhat, and I'm now going to enter face select mode and I'll press Alt left click. Then I'm going to press right click and I'm going to press separate by selection. So as you can see, when I enter object mode, these are now two different objects. So I'm going to name them accordingly. So I'll call this main tap and I'll call this one tap handle. Then I'll press G and then Z and I'll bring it up to here. Still have a bit of work to do on this, so I'll come over to my main tap up on this panel here and I'll just press that eye icon to make it disappear. Now I'm going to press tab, edit mode, and I'll press Alt on this bottom edge loop. Then I'll press E, S, and then Shift Z to extrude and scale across the X and Y axis. About there should do nicely. We'll compare it with our tap to see if it lines up. Might need to bring that out a wee bit, so we'll zoom in to have a look. And we'll press S and Shift Z again, turning off proportional editing this time, so make sure to turn that off with O on your keyboard. Then press S and Shift Z again, and we want to wait until that orange line is just disappearing. So about there should do. Then with that edge loop still selected, I'm going to press E and then Z again to bring this up. About there should do. Then this time all I'm going to need to do is press F, and I'm also going to press Alt left click, then I'm going to press F again. Now I'm going to, with this selected, I'll press tab and then enter edit mode, and I'm going to create a couple of loop cuts. So press Ctrl R, I'll just left click to create, and I'm going to change my loop cut to 2, and that should do perfectly. Now we've done that, I'm going to create another loop cut in between these two I've created here. This would be different than creating 3 loop cuts, as it's making it in the middle of these two I've made. So I'll press Ctrl R and then I'll just left click here and then right click to save. I've made quite a bit of progress now, so I'm going to make sure I save my file. So to do that, just press Ctrl and then S, and you can choose your directory where you want to save. So I'm going to call mine modern tap and I'll save it there. Now I've made these faces, I'm going to select them all just by holding down shift and left click, and I'll press I to inset. Just a tiny bit should do. Now what I'm going to do is right click, loop tools, and click circle. It's gone a little bit wonky, so all I need to do is press S and Z, bring that down, press S and X, there. Now I'm going to press E and then Y to bring this out, and as you can see we have the top of our handle. We're going to come back to this part later, For now, we're going to make the nozzle on here, or the tap itself. So press tab and enter edit mode. We're going to do a similar thing we done on the tap handle. So I'm going to press Ctrl R and I'll bring a loop cut here, and I'll bring another one to around here should do. I want the tap itself to be a lot bigger, so do keep that in mind. Then I'll press Ctrl R and I can create another layer. Now in order to even things out, we're going to create 2 new loop cuts here. So 2 like that should do nicely. Then I'm just going to press S and then Z, try and get it to a more even size. That should do nicely. I'll actually create a couple more loop cuts. So bring one up here and I'll try and get it roughly even. There should do, and I'll do the same up here. Now I've done that, I'm going to select the faces I want to turn into a circle. So select these and then I will press loop tools and then circle, S and then Z to bring it down, S and X to bring it out. It is causing a little bit of a topology error here. We'll just press G and then Y to bring it out. I'll then enter sculpt mode, open this menu up, and I'm going to select the smooth tool. Then in my X-ray mode here, first of all I'm going to change my radius to make it smaller, and I'll zoom in here. I'm just going to smooth this out here, all these individual vertices. And that should look a lot better. Great, so now we've done that, I'll enter tab and enter edit mode again, and I'm going to press E and then Y, extrude across the Y axis, and we'll bring it out to around here. Then I'm going to press G and then Z to bring it up a wee bit since I want it to be slightly angled, and I'll press R and then X to kind of match that route. Now before I continue, I'm going to make this tab a little bigger, so I'll just hold Alt and then left click, and I will press S and then Shift Y, so it only scales on the Z and X axis, and I'll move it that up a bit. And I'll move the whole object up by pressing G and Z. And yeah, that's looking a lot better. I'll also select these faces and I'll press GG to move it across the edge. About there should do nicely. Now what I'm going to do is press Ctrl R and I'll bring a loop cut up to around here where I want that dispenser to be. I'm going to enter edge select mode, and again I'm just going to select these 2 bottom edges here, G and Z to move them up. I have a little fiddle around with the vertices if you want to even it up, so I can just press GG. There we are, it's a little nicer. And now we simply need to select all of these faces here. So all the way up till here, and then I'll select these ones as well, and I'm going to press X and I'm going to press faces. Now we're going to need to do a bit of topology work here, so I'm going to go into vertex select mode and I'll select these 2 vertices first, and I'll just press F, then I'll select all of these vertices as well, and I'll press F again. Then I'm going to select these 2 vertices, right click, and I'll subdivide it once, then I'll increase it to 3. Now to sharpen up this topology a bit more, I'm going to left click that vertex and then that one, J, and I'll do the same for these ones, and now we've got 4 quads. Then I'm going to press this vertex with left click, control left click, and then I'm just going to control left click again. Then I'll press F, fix up this topology, select these vertices, J, and I'll bring this vertex down a little bit, just trying to make it look even as possible. Select these vertices too. Now I'm going to press Ctrl R to create a loop cut, and I'll go for just the middle here, and I'll create another 2 here, so 1 here and 1 here. Great, so now I've done that, I'm going to select my faces and I'll press I. I'm going to select my faces and then I'm going to press I to inset this, right click, loop tools, circle. Then I'll just press S and then Shift Z, scale it down. Then I'll press I just to make it a little bit of a nicer topology there. And now I'm going to press E and then Z, bring that down. Press G and Z again just to bring it a little further down. G and Y to move it across. And I'll press I again, inset into this topology. And then I'm going to press X with those faces selected. And I'll just press faces. Then I'll enter edge select mode again. Alt left click. E, Z, up, bring up a little bit more. Now I can just press F and G and Y, and that's looking a lot better. So back in object mode, we can see our tap is almost complete. Just need to make it look a little bit smoother. So I'll come to my modifier properties, add modifier, and choose subdivision surface. Keep it on Catman Clark. Tab into edit mode with edge select. I'm going to select all the edges I want to bevel, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed this part up. Alright, so I think I've selected all the edges I need to. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and use the mean crease. So I'm just going to increase that to around 0.95. There are some big errors up here. Fix that. Right, increase it to 1, and that's looking a lot nicer. Back in this object data properties, the green triangle, I'm going to turn this back down to 30, so that usually yields the best result. Then I'm going to click this tap handle, and I'm going to add a subdivision to here as well. Just keeping it on 1 will be fine. There's a few things you'll need to do here as well, but I'm just going to select all the edges and follow along with the time lapse sped up version. Make sure to turn on this cage again so we can see what edges we're using. Now I've selected all those edges, I'm just going to click on mean crease and press 1. Increase my subdivision here to 2. Here it's fine on 1. And there we have it, guys. That's our tap complete. We can quickly add some materials to it. So I'll go onto this material property, plus new, turn my metallic value to 1, roughness to 0. In fact, I'll maybe put my roughness to 0.1. I'm going to go ahead and call this metal tap, and we can go ahead and press Ctrl L and link materials. Now when we have a look in the material preview, you can see we have that metal tap. Have a look in the render engine as well. I'm not going to go over that today because we've already spent a lot of time just making this. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys all found this useful. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and I hope you guys are as well. If you do have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. One last thing you can do actually is click this tap handle, then shift click that main tap, and then press Ctrl P and then select object. Now when I move the main tap with G, that handle comes with it. But yeah, with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and if you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to be notified when I make more tutorials like this. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you all in the next video.